What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I'm back with another video. Uh, First, I'd like to give a shout out to my one of my subscribers, Spurs Lover 21. He gave me a link to an article. I'm not an article. This one's Twitter. I believe this gentleman works for IGN, and he said some concerning facts that Sony has yet to show a functioning PS4 or a hands-on remote play demo with under 3 months until launch. Like, we didn't see an actual PS4 yet, real system, and like with games running on the PS4 and doing this whole remote play that Sony promised us, and the system comes out in less than 3 months. Um, Now, with that being said, um, to shed some light on this, um, having said that, and I brought up the FCC pieces because there was a rumor that Microsoft may run into some problems because they haven't got the FCC. The FCC is what you need for your system to be sold. But it says, having said that, the reason I brought up the FCC piece is because they indicate that they are ready for manufacturing. Talking about the Xbox One, they said people was a rumor yesterday that they didn't have it. They already have it. Sony and you guys have both been at this for a long time, so any manufacturing issues tend to be related to stretching the boundaries of what is possible. Example: Sony with the cell, Blu-ray lasers on the PS3. Check it out. I do expect Sony will have more consoles available at launch than Microsoft, as they are not as reliant on parts that are difficult to manufacture. Microsoft has those SoC chips, and they announced a whole bunch of shit day before yesterday that we didn't even know about. You know what I mean? So it's a lot up under their hood, a lot. And the Connect software, like I said, the PS4. You know what I mean? So it'll be easier to get high yields. PS4, they don't have as many parts, little computer chips, and whatever the case may be. So only basically has a beefy GPU and the CPU in that motherfucker, and they make it easy for them to turn out. Fine, done job. I mean, job well done. You know what I mean? Well, the Xbox One has a lot of shit up under there. You know what I mean? They still haven't released the full specs of the system. It's coming out little by little, but the motherfucker's a beast. You know what I mean? Everything, like Mark Whitman said, everything under the Xbox One has been optimized, fine-tuned, and highly optimized and customized. That's when he said Sony published a bunch of specs on paper. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's starting to come out. Like, now people are starting to see, like, God damn, the Xbox One is not as weak as we thought it was going to be. Like, they have a lot of shit going on it. A lot, you know what I mean? I'm not even going to sit and break all that shit down. There's been numerous articles. You guys can go do your due diligence and look for yourself. But anyway, basically saying that Microsoft's console was ready for manufacturing. But like I said, and like to be honest with you, to be real, Sony is going to sell more consoles at launch because their PS4 is easier to manufacture than the Xbox One. They're able to make and produce more quickly. You know what I mean? Until Microsoft, get behind, in front of the curve. You know what I mean? After holidays and after demand, then it'll balance out. You know. But also, like I said here, Microsoft takes a shot at Sony. It says Microsoft exec clarifies we have real retail consoles running real code. It says some game journals were concerned that most games showing that Gamescom were not running on actual retail hardware, but with 3 months to go before launch. Microsoft Director of Product Albert Pinello revealed that just about everything on the Xbox One is running on final hardware. Developers usually use dev kits or development PCs to showcase their unfinished games, and this was what Pinello had to say about the games that were demoed at E3. At E3, you saw Xbox One game running in a couple of different environments. Development PCs, these were early alpha kits spec similar to hardware targets. Like I told you guys before, development kits, these are the white and black consoles that look like real retail units. Other PCs in the kits like the drama around the PC with the NVIDIA GPU, we asked developers to make sure, check it out, we asked developers to make sure that they were showing what reflected or what could be achieved on the Xbox One. He also added that the Xbox One dev kits do not have 12 gigabytes of RAM, contrary to the rumors, and that they're only 8 gigabytes, just like retail units. Wow. At this point, just about everything is running on near final hardware. What's unique about our program is that this time that the dev kits and retail kits are exactly the same. Wow, okay. I didn't know that. Dope shit. I thought that the dev kits had 12 gigabytes of RAM. Microsoft said no, that their dev kits only have 8 gigabytes of RAM, just like the retail units. But think about it, you got 3 extra gigs of RAM because they're not, they don't. They can make the game. They don't have to worry about the connect and all that shit. They just make it. They can use those 3 gigs of RAM. I'm sorry. They can probably use those 3 gig of RAM. I'm sorry, those 3 gigabytes of RAM for for whatever to make the game, to go in there, correct it, make sure it's running smooth, and then put it back. But fuck all that. But anyway, so the Xbox One, what we saw at Gamescom was the actual hardware, everything that you seen at Gamescom was running on the Xbox One. Those graphics and everything. Don't get me wrong, the games will look more polished come November, but that's it. Probably now Sony, on the other hand, they still were running on dev kits and some PC some dev kits, some still high end PCs or whatever the case may be. By the time Microsoft spoke up for themselves. Now listen, I said a lot. I'm tired as hell. I'm shooting this video. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to take my monkey ass to bed. Now I'm not going to upload this to tomorrow, but you Sony fans, you have fun with that. Now, like I said before, your PlayStation 4 is going to have more consoles at launch because it's easier to make. And the reason why I'm not that I give a shit because none of that money goes in my pocket because you guys, the fanboys and like God damn, like is Sony and Microsoft cut you guys a check? I just say what I mean because I did a video talking about the PlayStation 4 launch numbers, the pre-orders. You know what I mean? They were good, and kudos to them. But I also told you guys too that Microsoft is not little girl. They're playing with the phone. That GameStop did take more pre-orders for the PS4 because Sony allowed them to, it's easy to make the PS4. You know what I mean? Microsoft gave GameStop allocated numbers, maybe 30 per store, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But like I said, my GameStop had 30, and those went quick as hell. I went in my GameStop right after they announced at E3. I pre-ordered, I did a video, but my game, because actually they didn't have an actual price inside the system. It started as $10,000, so I left $100 pre-ordered. When I came back in the next day, he said, we're allowed to take 30, and it was already up to like 24, some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? So the rumor that the Xbox One ain't selling, don't believe the dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to see what at the end of the day, I do expect the PlayStation 4 to outsell the Xbox One and come launch because, like I said, it's easier for Sony to make more PS4s than it is the Xbox Ones. You don't believe me? Read the article I just left there in the link. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this video up, and as I always say, bang, bang. Damn, dog. Hey, son, stop all that damage control inside. Where it is born, man.